Hello. So first of all, congrats everyone on winning the school games. Everyone's way closer, right?
Yeah.
It feels way more intimate. So just real quick, how today's going to go. Me and Hormozi are going to talk, and
Value.
yeah, we're going to provide big value. And we're actually going to try something a little bit different today. We're going to really mostly just do Q&A, because I was trying to come up with some talking points. I was like, what should I talk to Hormozi about? And I was like, I don't know. So we're going to instead talk to you guys with Hormozi, basically, which I think will be good. It'll really make sure that what we're talking about is relevant, I think. Yeah. So we're going to do that for about 2 hours. And then we're going to have some lunch. We've got some chefs here. We'll have lunch together. We'll get some professional photos with you guys holding the award. Then we're just going to hang out. We're going to go over to Skool HQ. We've got a bus that's coming to pick us all up. You'll get to check out Skool HQ. And then we're going out for dinner. And then a bus will take you back to the hotel if you want. So basically, the whole day is just, there's a lot of room to hang out and get to know each other. That's the whole idea, really, instead of just listening to a lot of keynotes. Because there's a lot you can learn from each other, right? Yeah. So, a little update. The only piece of content that I have is basically, the main things, if any of you are wondering, what's Skool focusing on right now? The main thing really is distribution. We want to help you guys get more members. We want to start really focusing on discovery. You've probably seen some of these updates on Skool News. So the search results, what we suggest on the homepage, and finding ways to drive a lot of traffic there and get a lot of members for people, because, it's a good question for you guys, but what would you prefer, more features or more members? Yeah, good.
The jury has spoken. Actually, quick question for you, just all you guys who have, obviously you're all in school, who here has gotten a member from Skool now that the tracking has been on? Can I get hands? Sweet, right?
Do you like that tracking thing? Cool.
It was 6 months of your life.
It was so hard to build. And right now we're rebuilding the whole thing. So it's very hard to do, yeah. But yeah, that's going to get more accurate. And then discovery is getting way better. Honestly, it's kind of shocking to me that discovery even works. Because we haven't really put any attention there at all. We've really just neglected it. And then we didn't know if it was working or not because we didn't have the tracking, right? So then we put the tracking in, showing you where your members come from. And then we're like, whoa, this is doing a lot. And we're like, how? So then it took us even more months to figure out, because, you can know it's coming from Skool Network, but you've got to break that down. And then we're like, you kidding? It's search. Search is the majority of it. And then search was the worst part of it. So I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, if you type Hormozi in, I'm not on the list.
Menopause comes up number one.
I think the men part, and then...
I know why it does that. It's actually kind of funny. You probably... No. It's we use a vector database, some AI for that. And the word Hormozi is close to hormone.
Yeah.
That's AI for you. So that's why you can see some strange things in there at the moment. But yeah, the new search we've got, if you're talking to me at some point today, I can probably give you a demo of it. We've already got it internally. It's night and day.
I show up number one there.
Yeah. No hormone stuff there, yeah. It's really, really good now. And before it was quite bad. And also the trending thing we've got, the trending algorithm to show the homepage so it's different all the time. It's really interesting to see. Because you see a group come up and it's trending, and then you look and it's they're doing a launch, or they just dropped a video, or it really shows you what's going on.
The pulse of the internet, yeah.
Yeah. And also you can see there's just always a lot of AI stuff, which makes sense because everyone's talking about AI. So like whatever's trending in the market tends to be trending there too. It's like AI, what's the other thing that's trending? Peptides and looks maxing. It tells you a lot about the world. Like what, yeah, it's really interesting. And then Schoolers was trending one day, like number one, and I was like, why? Hormozi dropped a video. You know, so like it's really interesting to see, and it's dynamic, like it moves around, so it's quite cool. We can show you it today when we go to Skool HQ too. Curious to get your guys' feedback on it. But yeah, the main focus really is just going to be trying to get you guys more members. Yeah. So that's all I have. So now we should do some.
No, well, I've got some stuff if you guys are interested. In the spirit of getting you guys more members, I figured I would talk a little bit about what we're doing at ACQ from a traffic perspective. So that'd be helpful / valuable. Okay. So there's a couple things that I think have at least shifted in the way that I'm seeing media, and it's just kind of like the continued proliferation of interest-based media versus social media. And I wanted to make a few comments in terms of like what we've changed and what I think I would suggest you changing, or at least considering changing with content, which is, has anyone seen that I started something called a highlights channel on YouTube? Yep. Yeah, so that channel is run by one guy and a bunch of AI workflows, and we post about 20 times a day there, and they're all like, I call them mids, so they call it more than a short and less than a long, so we call them mids. So it could be 4 minutes, it could be 8 minutes, you know, it's just like, it's kind of in that range. Sometimes it's longer, but they're typically videos that are very valuable to a very small percentage of people. And so it's like, if you happen to be a plumber, this video will be really valuable for you. But if you have a school community, you're struggling to get leads, me talking about like local PPC is probably not going to be as relevant. Now, if I'm talking to a music school community owner, if you're an AI school community owner, then a lot of that stuff is probably pretty relevant. And so it's kind of degrees of separation based on the size of people that video would be relevant for is more correlated with the view count than the quote quality of the video. Now, if you've shit video, nothing matters. But if you've seen the highlight channel, you've seen that it has like 800 view videos, 1,000 view videos, there's some 20s, some hundreds, whatever. But we're posting 20 plus times a day. And this is the point that I want to make. That channel has more attributed revenue to ACQ than my main channel. What the fuck is right? And so the reason... No. I mean, I'm as certain as the attribution that we can have.
As if that is 100% true, that's fucking crazy.
It is. We're also posting 140 videos a week there compared to 2 on my main.
Is it search? How like, is it mostly... Because you know how you can see is the
if
other...
it's suggested or searched.
Yeah, is it...
I'll look, I don't know. I can answer
because if it's search, that would start to make more sense because there's a level of intent you have when you're searching, which is kind of what I've been learning recently with Discovery.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't get a ton of views, but that intent is
it's
so
laser
high.
focused.
Yeah.
Well, so you talked about the school video that I posted. The conversion rate on the trial page from the video was insane. I'll put it that way. It was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 70% conversion. Yes, wild. to a purchase page, right? And so again, it's just the indication of like the quality and the intent of the traffic matters a ton. And if you think about your own buying behavior, have you seen, I'm sure many of you guys have seen micro accounts, the accounts, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. Many of you guys may have some of those types of accounts. If you're making valuable content for a specific niche, just like do not beat yourself up about not getting that many views. That was like, if I could have one Vegas headlights of what I'm even more doubling down on is giving 0 fucks about views. Now, if you are a media business and you sell number of impressions, then you have to care about views. But the vast majority of people conflate, or they look at media influencers, entertainers, and say, oh, I'm going to use this strategy to grow my business, whatever your business is, whether you're a local plumber or you're a school community, doesn't matter. And I don't think that's the right strategy. And so it really should be, more than ever, value per second, and then with an extra slice of avatar. And so Andromeda some of you guys might have known that that came out as an update from Meta. And what Andromeda did was amazing and terrible at the same time. So it was amazing for consumers, it was amazing for advertisers, but it was a double-edged sword. And so what Andromeda basically did was, how can we make the news feed as valuable as possible, which is always what Meta is going to try and optimize for, right? And so you'll notice that more and more ads are niche specific in general, right? And so it's sub-segmented down. So if you have a plumber who's wearing his plumber stuff, doing plumber things, and you're talking about plumbing stuff, it's going to get shown to plumbers, right? Now, the upside is, because the targeting gotten so much better, your cost per result is going down. But, and this is the massive but, when you have significantly more specialized targeting, the pool or the pond of people that are actually that niche is way smaller than when you're running general ads. And so when you have a generalized, back in the day, right, you could run an ad that was a, quote, national campaign, and based on kind of the blended CPM of all different people, you'd get that plumber every so often, because it would hit some part of that puddle that was the really high intent puddle, right? Now, Meta knows exactly where the puddle is and knows exactly what your ad's about, and then just drains the puddle, and then all of a sudden, your cost just skyrockets again. And so the end result of this is that you have to make a shitload more creative, because otherwise you burn through the audiences faster. And so I see this as kind of a dual-sided effect on both the ad side and also the creative side, which is like, you have to completely do away with the idea of like, I'm fatiguing my audience. Your audience isn't even, your follower number is just literally irrelevant. Like, it is taking the content, AI figures out what the content is about, and then it serves to the people that it believes it will have the most relevance for, period. And so just do not worry about one video getting 1,000 views and then another video getting 10,000 if your average is 100,000. So I'll give you a second kind of data point that we looked at. So over the last quarter, so just literally this one, Q1, we looked at my YouTube channel, my main channel, not my highlights channel. On the main channel, my top 6 most viewed videos, if we ranked revenue generated from the video. Now again, is it perfect? No. Do I think it's directional? Yes. Of the top 6, what percentage of them by views do you think was the highest, or rather, which of the 6 do you think was the highest revenue generating video of the 6? I'll give you, it's a rhetorical question. It was none of them. When I ranked my videos by highest revenue producing, none of the top 6 videos were the videos that actually produced the most revenue. Right. The number 1 video that I had was actually my favorite video that I made for the whole quarter, which I think it's called like the 51-1 rule. They made some thumbnail about it. But it's basically about the fractal nature of customers, which is that if you map 100 people to represent the United States or really any country from a poverty level perspective, I use the US as the example, and you put 100 circles on a piece of paper, and then you take $100 to represent all of the wealth scattered across those 100 people. If you draw a line at the 50-yard line, and you've got 50 people on this side, they've got about $2 or $3. And over the next 40, you've got like $30-ish, 20-something dollars. And then the next 10% has like $36. And then the top 1% has $32. And so when you're trying to figure out like, man, why can't I make my thing make more money? It's like, well, of all these dots on this map, where are you trying to go? And so anyways, that's the nature of that video, which I loved. And you're like, okay, what does this have to do with anything? Well, that video generated more revenue than any video I made. But you would imagine that that might be a higher level concept for people to consume. But the higher level people are my primary customers. And so I make this to say, I mean, I just want to hit this like head on for everyone, is that you need to completely divorce your ego. And I know it's really hard. You have to not think, oh man, I'm changing my content strategy. We're sucking. You know, our content is sucking. Our views are down. Our views are down should mean nothing to you. And also, conversely, our views are up should also mean nothing to you. If you are making more content and it's serving a specific avatar, then it will get shown to them. And if it's good, they will buy. And so I would just say, like, has anyone bought anything from an influencer here? Yeah? Okay. Now, of the influencers that you bought from, was it people, did anyone buy education stuff? Because obviously this is school. Okay. Did you buy because they had a lot of followers? Or did you buy because something that they told you was really useful and you were like, oh, that's really good? Right. And so this is where the big golden star that I'm trying to think of when I'm making content is saves. Saves is my North Star. If people are saving it, then they're like, I want to hold this. I want to make some of this mine, right? I want to put this in my back pocket. Now, whether they actually use it later, I don't really care. It's more that they're signaling that this is valuable enough that I want to do something with it. And so I would encourage you from like when you're getting into your content making mode, thinking to yourself like, what would I make that someone would want to save? And I think that will probably generate fewer views and more sales. Now, if I'm in your shoes, the next kind of follow-up question that I'd be thinking of is like, okay, well then how does this merge with like top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel type stuff? So the way that I think about it is, can I have a wide and compelling hook that then delivers value to a specific type of customer? And so by doing that combination, it's my belief, and this is completely me shooting from the hip, so like I'm just telling you what I'm doing. It's my belief that it would get me the most of that pond. Now, sometimes some ponds are lakes and some lakes are oceans, and so it depends on who you're going for. And of course, there's going to be some people who found me on a Modern Wisdom podcast, which was just about, grinding through things and whatnot, and then they end up, finding out that I actually do more business stuff than I do mindset stuff. And that happens. But I think if we're talking like 80-20 in terms of your content, I put 80% of it on just like talk to the customer that you have, not the algorithm, and just try to maximize your value per second and make stuff that they actually want to save. And as long as you keep focusing on that, the 20%, go wild with it. Go make your attempt at a viral video, whatever, because that's just kind of like, call it broad exposure awareness, if you will. Someone might recognize your face because they saw you in a viral video, and then the next time they see your niche video, then they're more likely to engage. I believe all that. That all sounds reasonable to me. But by and large, like the reason that we're doubling down on this stuff, and also because of AI, our ability to edit content has gone up dramatically. And so that one channel that's doing 20 videos a day is run by one guy. Now, I got a lot of stuff that I'm working on, media stuff, so hopefully this is relevant for many of you. I would also encourage you, because if the Vegas flashing lights is that your views and likes don't matter for how much money you make. That's like point number one. Point number two is that you have to make way more content and ads on either side. Who's running ads to their stuff? Can I get hands real quick? Okay, so about half of you. Yeah, obviously, you've probably already seen this. You need to make way more ads than you did before, and you have to be way more segmented in your audiences in terms of your call-outs and your messaging than you did before. So if you have, instead of making one ad for plumbers, make 10 ads with slightly different slices of plumbing. Like, you want to get as niche as you possibly can because your cost per result's going to go down, which is a good thing, but you're going to have to burn through more of it, but that's the nature of the game now. So point three is, how do we facilitate the creation of lots of content? And so I would call it, there's the kind of the tech way, which I don't think is truly working for anyone unless they're in AI, right? Like, I don't see plumbers making AI videos not saying that they're AI videos. I only see people in AI making AI videos where it makes sense because it's relevant to AI. I don't think the videos are good enough for like mass consumption. It's like, oh, it's close. I can see this is AI. Once it's not, then I think we'll have a different conversation. So that's the AI take, which for the AI bros, that'll apply to you. But for everybody else, I still think that you're going to need to build a way to create content as you do business rather than specifically for your business. Now, for sure, we want to have your content recording day. That all makes sense. But the question that will create significantly more content is, what are all the things that you currently do on a weekly basis or monthly basis or quarterly basis even, like this, that you can get paid to make content with, deliberately capture? And so I call this a self-licking ice cream cone. But like, how can we build a customer journey where their onboarding call and their first group intake, whatever, their first win, their first milestone, our first event, all of these elements of the customer journey we can deliberately capture and then feed directly into our content. And some of you guys have the ability to sell what I would consider to be unscalable services. Many people who are in your communities, they fundamentally are buying fractionalized access to you in a lot of ways. And so there's huge opportunities for selling not fractionalized, but direct access to you at a higher price point, but not because you're like, oh, this is my way of making money. Sure, you'll make money from it. But the real game is going to be that you're going to be able to get a day's worth of the highest value content that you can make, which is you demonstrating expertise. The highest value thing you can do. Show that you're good. Just show it instead of talking about it. And that's where you can create these significantly high volume clips in terms of mid, shorts, and longs that I think will do more for that kind of middle and bottom of funnel than anything else you could possibly do. So for right now, if you're thinking about your own customer journey, think about each touch point you have with the customer, point A, Point B, what touch points don't exist that I could make exist that are not super huge lift for me? And I'd say point C is, what things could I charge more money for to get direct access with my audience, which will check a bunch of boxes. So it's like, number one, you'll make money, great. Number two, you'll learn shit. Like and hopefully I'm not showing, opening the kimono here, but we learn more from you guys today than you'll ever probably learn from us. And this is what makes Skool better, is that we want to always keep a pulse on what's happening, on what you guys need, so we can make more good shit. And so you'll have that same response to your own customers. You're like, I don't know what thing do I want? It's like, I don't know, asking them is usually a pretty good start, right? And they'll tell you, right? And so you'll learn more, you'll make more money, you can make content from it, and it'll keep you sharp. And I say that not just like you will always learn new things when you expose yourself to your most active customers in your community, because they're engaging more deeply in your stuff, and they all have lives and they all have more hours in aggregate than you do, and so they will run more experiments than you possibly can. And so you can just take the best of those things, and that becomes the content recycling. And so I think Kirby said this right before I got on. He was like, I think some people would like to know what you're doing for ACQ in terms of our community that we're running. So Vantage is our $1 million plus community for business owners. And the content cadence that we have for training there is very simple, super simple. We look at the posts that did the best over the last week, and then I look at the handful and I say, I would like to talk about this thing, and then I talk about that thing. It's brilliant. And so that's where the weekly training came, because it's like I can spend all this time, I wonder what people really want to talk. It's just like, I'll just look. Whatever people want to talk about is what they're already talking about, and then I can make that relevant for more people and probably break down in a couple ways that some people would find valuable. And so for some of you guys who are like, man, anyone here struggle to make content and figure out what your content pieces are? Yes? Okay. So I'll give you 2 hacks. So number 1 is that one, which is, what do I make for my content for my community? 1. But of the other 100 posts that were there, can you pick 5 that you think are still interesting that you can make content about publicly? Like, you have your own, the value of the community is what you're basically crowdsourcing media. And I don't know if everyone's thinking about it like that, but you should. You have the people who like your stuff the most talking about something, and so we should talk more about the thing they want most and go deeper on it inside. And then externally, it's talking about what's possible with all these different use cases and scenarios that they're telling you is interesting. And I think where they're interested and where you're interested is really the cross-section where you make content. If they're talking about a bunch of stuff and you don't hate about it, you hate it, don't talk about it. But if you're like, oh, I actually have a take on this, then that's where the content comes from. And I think that has made my life, I have almost no stress about what am I going to make? There's always stuff. There's always stuff to talk about. The world goes on, and that has been super helpful for me. And those things also obviously double down into ads. Like, what's relevant contextually right now for my avatar? Well, the stuff they're talking about. And so we don't have to guess. The nice thing is that the community gives you one thing that basically any other business that doesn't have a community lacks, which is we have real-time feedback from media, which is unreal from an advantage perspective. So that's big picture of what we're doing. We have a highlights channel that's purposely super deep, very minimally edited, that we take the self-licking ice cream cone pieces, things that we're already doing in business, clipping it and putting it out so that we can get paid to make content, which is a great way to be. So that is my 2 cents on what we're doing right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what do you guys want to know about anything? Do you guys have questions or things you want to know about?
Yeah, I wanted to know if YouTube's still the platform that brings you the most revenue.
For us?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's YouTube and Instagram. Still number 1 and number 2. Actually, that's a good point. We were talking earlier, and you're big on TikTok, right? So I want to give a couple things, TikTok specific and then also general, of what we're seeing that works well. Number 1 is that I have yet to see, you included, anyone who makes money on TikTok, not selling widgets for sure, they're murdering it on TikTok Shop and all that stuff, but selling services or selling any kind of, call it digital or community, anything, those types of products. They typically are not able to monetize directly, but indirectly. And so the people who are doing best are they're going live, and then they can put links. One, that's the number 1. The guys who go live the most are the ones who make the most money. I'll just say it right now. The guys who go live the most and the longest make the most money. Number 2, they're trying to, their kind of bio CTA is often to converse with them on a separate platform. For whatever reason, no idea, people don't really chat as much on TikTok, but they do DM on Instagram, They DM on Telegram. They DM on What's Not. Oh, Jesus. I said WhatsApp and Whatnot. I just blended, but on WhatsApp. And so if you have TikTok and you're like, I've really had a lot of trouble monetizing it, try and do the monetization on a different platform of conversion. And every single person that I've seen that's doing really well there, not selling widgets, that's what they're doing. So lives, and try and convert off when you're not on the live. You can push your link wherever you want, right? But not on live in terms of link in bio or like comment, whatever. Push all that to a separate platform to do the conversions on. Just like observation of what I've seen after talking to a lot of people. Right now. Any other preguntas? Or Diane. Where's my Chinese man? Diane, right? That means answer in Chinese.
So in one of your recent videos I watched, it said you don't actually put any CTA in the video. Instead, you run a different ad. And then when people already see, they're already familiar with your face, and then they're more likely to click through the ad. But for someone like me, I don't actually run an ad. I just do organic reach. And what would be your suggestion for someone like me, how to apply or how to incorporate the CTA more naturally into a video? So I do Instagram short form and YouTube long form.
Just do so there's two ways that we've done it that have worked. So one is you don't have to do any of it, and you just have the ad, and it's clearly an ad, but it's organic. Like you take your organic piece, download it, upload it as an ad, and then it's clearly an ad product, but the creative itself is organic. That's the easiest thing. That's basically nothing. Number two is you put a like kind of lower third banner that has the CTA. The first time we ran this, we got tons of clicks on it, and so we actually got too many, and the intent wasn't high enough, and so we delayed the banner. So it's like the first 3 seconds, and then the banner appeared. That way people weren't just clicking for no reason. So that's number two. And then number three is you can still staple on the CTA at the end. I mean, it still works. Like you have your organic piece and you're like, hey, if you like that, you're going to love this. It's a pretty simple CTA that you can do. I would say that with organics, we have found that they work better for lead gen than for kind of direct to purchase. That's just what we've seen. That's N equals 1. But that's like if you have some widget. Because typically if you're running an organic that's working as an ad, it's going to outperform an ad from a reach perspective, but not necessarily from a purchase perspective. But you can get huge amount of list building that happens, and then that's kind of like, consider it more top of funnel, if that makes sense.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you about the ACQ membership, how you're selling it, and what can we learn about it for selling our memberships in our Skool communities?
So, two things. Number one, the number one source of customers that we have is Skool. So Skool does a lot of that promoting for us. So, yay. And that's... We have a lot of sources, but it's very high up there. Referrals is also pretty high up there in terms of, call it the affiliate feature, people referring people to the community. We were running a very small amount of ads, mostly just to get water through the funnel. But the vast majority is those two. Those are the two primary sources, referrals and Skool. And with the ads, we have I don't know if I don't open this can of worms. We have an AI sales rep that's doing all the sales. Yeah. Sorry.
Can you tell us more about that?
Sorry. Yes. Basically, I don't think voice is there yet still. I mean, unless you're just doing like mass cold calling, it doesn't really matter. If you're calling leads, I don't like... I mean, we've been working on a voice thing for 2 years. It's still not there yet. So we've been working on it for a while. There's a number of... I won't even get into it. There's a lot of technical things. Even if the text there's pickup rates, there's SIP trunking. There's a whole bunch of stuff in terms of like if you really start really scaling dialing. And so what we have done is we do everything via text. And so on text, it works like the tonality stuff. If you interrupt, all that stuff that's kind of an issue with voice is just not really an issue on text. And it's pretty darn good.
I actually went through it. It took me like 10 messages to figure out it was AI.
Yeah. Well, so fun fact, we say it's AI in the first message and no one notices. So, yeah. Also from a compliance perspective, we let everyone know.
How did it take you 10?
Part of it was the speed.
Yeah.
But didn't it tell
Because
you
humans
it was
don't
AI?
want to take for a while.
So, I mean, AI is 2 letters, and it's people, send a block of text. But go
I
ahead.
remember reading AI.
Yeah. Well, because we're obviously super compliant advertisers, and so we always let everyone know up front, what everything is. But we're not like, hey, just make sure in all caps, multiple times. It's like we let you know, but we're gonna keep going.
I was amazed at the quality of the responses because I'd be like, well, I already bought the 6K package, and then it would have the answer to that.
Yeah.
Where most AIs would be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that was interesting.
Yeah, we train it on 14,000 sales calls, so
Makes sense.
it kind of knows what to say. And I mean, what's really cool, the biggest thing that's cool is that we can see, because I have a live feed of sales that come in, we can see time delay between opt-in and purchase. And it's very cool when you see like 45-day later sales come in, 30-day later sales come in, because I know, because it happens at these clear times, because that's when follow-up happens. Except like your individual salesperson is unlikely to do that follow-up, but the AI just doesn't forget. And so it does obviously drip down in terms of percentages, but you just see them at each of the spikes where someone follows up. And if you review the messages, sometimes people say, hey, I'm busy right now, 3 months from now would be ideal. And like, sure shit, 3 months later, it's like, hey, just circling back. By the way, there's this person who's just like you. Let me send you this very specific testimonial to your use case. And so we have hundreds of testimonials that we tagged so that it can identify what type of business it is, and then it would send, which is exactly what a closer would do, who's really, more advanced and a good closer would find, relevant case studies to send to the person, and that's the best long-term nurture anyways, which is like, hey, I know you didn't sign up, no sweat. This person is just like you and signed up the day that you didn't sign up, and look at what their life is now, right? And so it's just showing proof.
So it's like a personalized, dynamic email follow-up sequence.
Yeah.
You know how it's very static in an email sequence? You got to but this one's adapting, it's changing its sequence and its content.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting. Yeah.
So it converts the same percentage as the sales team does.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Wait, how do you get into this funnel thing?
You just it's a lead form.
And you won't put in a phone number or something?
Yeah, it's
and
a
it's
normal.
text? Like the green ones or the blue ones?
It's blue ones.
Ah,
Yeah,
interesting.
we went fancy.
Because everyone hates the green ones.
Everyone hates the green ones. Unless you're a green one, in which case everyone loves the green ones. No one loves the green ones.
Who's got an Android? No one's going to put their hand up.
They're like, it's way more cost effective. But yeah, so that's I don't want to.
Daniel Bissonnette, he's not only got an Android, he's got the flip phone. Look at
This
this
big screen thing. Oh.
It's the worst phone a man can have. Its Skool was broken on it. I was like, fuck off. I'm never fixing it.
Yeah.
So we have like a $300 a month community, and it's very heavy, like call heavy. So we do a lot of calls. And I wanted to ask, like, we want to grow from here. And is the best, like, how can I think through if we should just keep hiring teachers to like take more calls in this like higher ticket, or if we should do like a downsell where like there's no calls and basically make like an automated funnel to that? I'm just thinking through what the best answer would be.
Well, let me ask this question. Why do you need to do either of those to grow?
Because right now we can't sell more because we do like 50 calls a week and we're like 3 teachers.
So you're supply constrained. So like
Yeah.
in order, like, okay. So you're just saying, should I just keep hiring teachers, option A, or option B, make a cheaper version?
That has no call, yeah.
It's a good question. I mean, fundamentally, it's 2 different businesses. So one is a service business. The other is a, called media/digital products info business. I'll say that it'll likely come down to LTV to CAC. Obviously, there's a consideration for like scalability. So if you were like, I think we have 100 times the size, and I'm never going to get catch up. Like we could for sure have manual onboarding for Skool. It just probably wouldn't make could we probably have higher LTV if we did that? Yes, but the operational complexity to scale would get in the way, and so we don't do that. So we trade some LTV and have to keep improving the product so that we can enhance it through product rather than services. It's just difficult to do that with information only, because once it's consumed, it confers little value. Does So that's the trade. So you're like, so what should I do? I don't really think there is a correct answer. If you basically, I would say, okay, I think I take that back. Depending on the size of the market that you're going after. If you have a very small market, you want to maximally monetize it, and you're willing to take on the operational drag. If you have a gigantic market that you're going after, then the operational drag will get in the way of the growth. There. Nailed it.
Yeah, we have a small market, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. I had a question. So it was really interesting hearing your story about like using the Skool community for your content. What does your content sort of ideation strat look like for YouTube? Do you look at outliers, in niche, out of niche, and also like where do you lean on your intuition to make kind of bets that kind of feel right but don't have data?
I think Sam's gonna love this. There was a moment maybe like a year ago where I was spending, we would look at like outliers and, you know, try and be like, okay, this video concept is interesting. Or here's 10 videos. My team would be like, here's 10 videos that I think we could make. And then of those, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna make this one, right? And I think I have something unique to say about this. Which I would say as light optimization. I now am doing like 0. I just don't give a shit. I message my YouTube manager when I have something that feels interesting. And then I say, let's make a YouTube video on this. And then I'll just like figure out the packaging. And then he does it afterwards and tries to figure it out. That's basically it, which is not necessarily what I recommend. But I'll say for me, I don't like the rinse and repeat 6 ways to whatever, which, I mean, you're in a niche that has a lot of people, a lot of creators, and every single creator, I think, even more in your niche of AI, will have 0 original thought. And so I think you can stand out in a lot of ways in an art of, like the most ironic thing would be that the best AI creator uses human intelligence in order to make the best AI content. Yeah. Because the rest of everyone else is saying, go look at the top 10, rank order them, go take the points, take the best points from all 10, put them in, it's just like this circle. I'll just leave it there. I just like, I'll tell you a video that came up the other day. I saw a dog shit in a yard, and I thought to myself, that would suck if that happened every day. And so then I was like, okay, well, what would I do? And so then I Googled, like, what can you do if your neighbor dog shits in the yard? And it's like, well, you can ask nicely. It was like, yeah, but if the neighbor tells you to fuck off, then what do you do? And so there's this big escalation of like, you can't throw the poop onto their side. It's considered like throwing the poop. Like the dog can poop on your yard, but you cannot take the poop and throw it on their yard because now you're the poop thrower, right? Because that's a human versus a dog. You can't hurt the dog. You can't do that. And if you go to the person, you can't threaten them physically, obviously. And so then the legal chain is like you eventually get to civil court, and then you have to sue for the damages. But what, the damage to the grass, so like $100? It's not you. So you go through this whole process, and so then there's the process of going through an HOA if you're in a community. I was like, this is a nightmare. Like, how do you, if you have a neighbor, you're like, where is he going with this? So when you're in that situation, what do? $50. Put a motion censored sprinkler in your yard. Right? That's what you do. And then the dog stops shitting in your yard. And so the point there is that there's like logical solutions and then there are psychological solutions. And so I was like, I will make a video about how a lot of business problems do not require logic.
Please make a video about that.
Yes, I will. That's exactly what, no, but like.
That would be the funniest
I am
video.
I'm making it next week. But like it just happened yesterday. I texted my YouTube manager. I was like, I want to make a video about this. But just about psychological solutions. And the same thing happened with elevators. If people complain about slow elevators, put mirrors in the elevators. Don't try to make the elevators faster. The logical solution is often wrong. And so not often wrong, most of the times in our businesses, we will have exhausted all the obvious ones, like the obvious logical thing to do. And if you still have this problem that's bothering you, it usually means there's a different approach or different frame to think of. And that's where it's like kind of like the psychological out of the box. So just, of course, there's a way to get the dog to not.
What about a fence?
Fence works too.
Yeah.
Just different. And then you have to get approved through the HOA and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
But, like,
true, yeah.
but yeah, so it was like $50 in an afternoon. You get it fixed and it never has to be a problem again.
Have you tested it yet to see if it works?
No, I live in a high rise. But
Well, where'd you see this dog then?
I mean,
Huh?
eyes walk, around.
From your high rise? No. I was like, if that was bothering you.
No.
I need to know so much more information.
See, it's a great video. But yeah, all that to say, so how am I really thinking about my content now? I really am just thinking like, what's the stuff that catches my attention? And then relating that back to business.
Yeah, because it's my observation that in some niches, they'll become kind of like shallow reflections of like one channel. They find out what works and it just kind of echoes down. So do you think that you just have like an intuition based on what you think your like dream avatar actually wants and you just follow what you think is the best content?
I make what I like.
Yeah.
That is, honestly, that has been more of a North Star for me than trying to guess what other people want. Like that fractal video, I will say did not get the views. And I was like, this video is going to crush because I loved it so much. But it generated the most revenue for the quarter. It crushed.
The top podcasters say that too. Like I think Lex Friedman said he deliberately installed an extension so he can never see the view count.
Oh, that's cool.
Because a super interesting guest, like on a very specific topic, might not have millions of views.
Yeah.
But people love it more in a way. So he was like, if I am trying to like regulate my show on these views, like it would drive you crazy. Yeah.
If everyone's using, like, I would say a great strategy, a great meta strategy that you've probably heard of, but haven't applied from a media perspective is to zig when everyone zags. If everyone's channel looks the same because everyone's using the same tools and the same process, you probably should not look like another also ran. Like, how do you stand out? Like, the idea of I'm going to take a viral video and then hack it to stand out because it was a viral video will often create more also ran looking videos. Now, again, use common sense when I'm talking about this. I'm not saying like do shit that no one wants. That's probably not going to be good for your content. But I think people live on the extremes here, and I think most of success lives in the middle of trying to balance these two things. Like, should it be always merciful or always just? It's like you got to be both, but they're extremes. How can they both be true? And I think content's a lot that way, which is like you got to make shit you like, you got to make shit they like, and it's just living in that middle ground. And I think you swing a little bit from time to time, and I think being okay with the fact that I'm just managing two extremes, and I'm going to miss sometimes.
That's cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for giving us the platform to monetize our skills and benefit others. Meanwhile.
That's all Sam. Sam does the real work.
So thanks, Sam. And what I want to ask is, everything that we do now is organic. We don't run any ads. If we run ads, will our traffic get better?
Your traffic get better?
Yeah?
What do you...
Subscribers.
Oh, I mean, you'll get more subscribers if you run traffic. Sure.
With the same quality of organic followers?
No, probably not.
So the best thing is to stay organic as much as you can?
No, not
Or
necessarily.
to do both?
I think that to reach the most people, you will let as many people as possible know about it, which means you should promote in all ways you possibly can, within the big context of your operational capacity. So even some people are going to take it, like, oh my God, I'm going to go on 17 channels and do all. It's like, well, you still got to be good, right? And so you still want to maximize for quality, especially like, and again, in the world of AI, like how do you stand out? Be good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Also have real world proof. Matters a lot.
So I read somewhere online that the average retention period on Skool is about 3 to 5 months. I've only personally been on Skool for 2 months, so I don't really have that statistic from my own community. But my question is, what I realize, especially in my niche, people join the community particularly for a sense of belonging and also an identity. What I do is I host a lot of offline groups. Also, because I'm in Taiwan, it's small in Taiwan, but I have followers in Singapore, Hong Kong, and they all have a bunch of offline events. But what about gamification within the Skool community? I noticed that when people have more engagements, they send more, of their personal, whatever, development, improvement stuff in the community. They tend to stay for longer. Now, is it possible that Skool can apply some sort of gamification within our communities, like giving badges and stuff like that? I think that could also benefit the average retention rate.
We've got the leaderboards, right?
Yes, but I mean, leaderboards is one thing, but also these specific badges. Like I used to have a YouTube community where we can give out different badges to people, and I think just by having something like that next to their name, it would really encourage them, which is also one of the reasons why I'm here. I also wanted to
How
have
do
the
they
badge.
get these badges, though?
I'm sorry?
How do they get these badges?
Well, they give these badges, you mean in school? I mean, you mean
If
YouTube?
we were to do it, like how would they get them?
Well, for example, maybe whoever have the most referrals, that could be one thing that they can do. And then also whoever engages the most, just kind of like how we got our badges in the schoolers community.
Oh, the MRR ones?
Yes?
Yeah. The hard part is finding something that's like, it's like very accurate, because if you're just giving them to people, like, then it loses its meaning real fast, and now you just clutter up the interface, you know? The
Right.
MRR ones are hard to get, right? Even the fire is pretty hard to get. Like, you know, you miss one day, like, it's gone. But I think that makes them better, honestly, because status symbols are scarce, or otherwise they're not status symbols, right? And also there's no opinions involved. It's not like we're just giving people these emojis. It's like there's math, right? The leaderboard uses engagement, right? So I guess we've already got a mechanism for that. We don't have anything for referrals, and I think that would be really cool to have an affiliate leaderboard, like 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should definitely do that. And it's actually in our plan, like, to do
great.
it. Yeah. So maybe that's just all we need to do for now, like just that. One thing at a time, right? Because you don't want to overdo it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically my question is just more gamification for more engagement, not only referrals, keeps them engaged so they stay for longer, they have a
But
more
what is
sense
your
of...
churn? What is your churn? Do you know?
My churn is actually, in the beginning I had 596 at one point.
There's a number like on your dashboard.
Yeah,
like a
it's
percent.
30, the percent is less than 5%.
You don't have a
What are
problem.
we talking about?
Yeah, but I've only been here for about a month and a
always
half.
how it goes. Like,
It's
we're
always
gonna-
the people who are most upset. Like,
We're going to
obsessed.
make the product way more complicated for 5%.
No.
Dude, you're crushing it.
Yeah, I know, but like I said, I've only been
Don't
on
change
school
anything.
for...
The chances of making that worse are so high. I'm not even joking. Like, keep doing it. Do more. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. Yeah.
Let me just tweak one thing of what you were saying, because it'll apply to everybody. In terms of, if you guys haven't watched, Kirby and Sam did a 1 hour deep dive into churn. I think it was one of the best school games of all the episodes in school games. Obviously, that would be the one that might get the least views because it's super tactical and probably more advanced. But from a value per second perspective, one, strongly recommend going through that. The TLDR of that video is you have to fucking nail the onboarding. Like the first 30 and then first 90 days, like a lot of what churn, what we can see platform wide is that it goes like this, right? It's super steep in the beginning. And then once someone gets to month 6, across all communities, churn is like 2%. All communities. So it's like you just got to get them there. And so I think not enough people are focusing on like, what do I do with the new people in their first day, 2 days, 3 days? And so number one, we know that when people get to past level 3, the churn likelihood drops dramatically. And so if you guys don't have a very clear process to like road to level 3 and big incentives on level 3, like please do that. You'll also probably, like if you could guess, now if you do get a little fancier, you can do this with data, but what are the key activation points in the community? And you have to just try like hell to get every single person to get there. And I would say have multiple ways to get to Rome, right? So instead of just, okay, we have our one process of onboarding, you have to scoop up the person who didn't do it here, and you have to scoop up the person who didn't do it here. So you want to have like 6 or 7 different ways to catch all the people to get them through there, because that's how you're going to not eliminate, but dramatically reduce the people who fall off during onboarding. And of course, you're going to have people who picked the wrong community, or this wasn't what they thought it was, blah, blah, blah. That's going to happen. But for everyone who is like the right avatar for your specific community, making sure that you have a way to catch all the stragglers, it's what's going to crunch that month 1. And it will never be bigger than month 1. So think about that. Like crushing the month 1 churn, all months after that will be smaller. So crush month 1. And many of you guys are like, how do I double or triple my community? It's like if you're at 20% churn, you get to 5, it's a 4x. Like you do nothing else, and you get a 4x. Yes, sir.
Hey guys. So my community, I teach guitar lessons to deadheads. I'm Grateful Mike, and the number one thing that I'm hearing from the people in my community, and there's mostly guys in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s, is they want to be able to have like an after-school club when I'm not live, to be able to be on Skool Live, to be able to play guitar, have each other hang out. That's what and they're already trying to do it, and they're going onto my calendar, onto the YouTube link, and some of them don't even, these are older guys, a lot of them don't even know how to get their original sound set up. I'm kind of curious where we are with Skool Live, and what has there ever been any other communities that talk about people in the community getting together on their own?
So you want to member organize live?
Yes.
Okay.
Like jam sessions.
Yes, especially deadheads.
What does that mean?
Do you know about the Grateful Dead?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
So what
It's
is
all
this
it's all
deadhead?
improvised.
This is a niche. Like, I was like,
It's a super niche.
It's a super niche.
He only teaches people how to play Grateful Dead songs. That's all he teaches people how to do.
got it.
Well, I teach them how to become guitar players using the Grateful Dead,
Yeah.
and Bob Dylan and the Beatles and all that. But they all go in as deadheads. So they're all different levels. They all like hanging out. It doesn't matter.
Okay, the live thing. So there is a way to do it right now. It's like, it's a little bit weird because it wasn't designed for this, but let me remember how. I think if you create a call link on the calendar, like create a call on the calendar in the past, right? So it won't even appear on the calendar. Get the link from it, and then put it in a pinned post or something. And then anyone can drop in on that call whenever they want.
Well, I already have my Facebook open. My Zoom opened up where there's no waiting room. So it's always the same link for every single call on the calendar. So they can go on any. I don't have to create a new Zoom link for every.
Oh, so you're already doing it.
It's already there. But they're asking me about what's going on with Skool Live. Would that ever be something, instead of having to do a Zoom link,
Oh, yeah.
they can just click on it and boom, they're right there.
Well, yeah, there's that way I just told you, right?
Yeah.
If you create an event in the past, it won't be on the calendar in the future, right?
Right.
But that link will still work, and it will be one link that will last forever, essentially. The rooms, we never close the rooms,
Well,
Like the room's closed when no one's there, but if someone shows up, like it's open again, right?
right, but I guess what they were asking me to hopefully ask you guys, which I'm doing right now, is to be able to play live where there's no, like
Oh,
they
so
could
you're
actually
asking
jam
about
with each
that.
other.
Like the quality for music.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's something different.
Because you can't do that on Zoom. You can't just have somebody playing like a lead over someone else playing
You
chords.
can do it. Zoom's pretty good at musicians.
There's a little bit of a
Do you have
glitch.
Zoom? There's a special mode they've got for musicians on Zoom. Do you have it?
Yeah, but well, I'm not exactly sure. I'm old school. I'm just
we figured it out. Like, ask Johnny. He's right there.
you,
There's
Johnny. Okay.
Yeah. There's
The cameraman. Yeah.
there's a special setting that's very hard to find. I think they deliberately hide it, right? But it's called like Zoom. What is it called, Johnny? Zoom for musicians or something? Yeah, and it's specifically for musicians.
Crazy
and
naming.
It's really high quality. It removes all the noise suppression and all the AI stuff. It just strips everything. And so that's obviously not good for normal people because they're using random mics and there's dogs barking and shit.
Right.
But for musicians, because they do a lot of manipulation to the signal in these apps, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, you can be on Zoom or Meet and there can be like a child screaming and no one can hear it. Have you noticed that? It's so crazy. It's so good. But it's not good for musicians, obviously.
Right.
But Zoom's got a setting. Ask Johnny, he'll show you it.
All right.
And I don't know if Skool's going to get that good at that one specific thing anytime soon because it's hyper specific and very complicated to achieve. Sure, we might get there eventually. We have a mode called Hi-Fi for musicians. Have you tried it?
No.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay, we'll
This
start there.
is why I'm here.
I thought you had tried that and you were like, it's not good enough. It's pretty good, but it's not as good as Zoom's. But you should try that one first. It's literally just a toggle. It's in your settings when you're in the live room, you click the settings and it says hi-fi for musicians.
Right.
You just turn that on and it automatically turns off the noise cancellation. And it's higher like bit rate or some shit. I don't know. Try that first and see if that'll work. And if it doesn't, try Zoom for musicians. Yeah.
Well, I think the last thing I want to say is, a lot of these guys are talking about maybe one guy has his bass, one guy's got his guitar, drums. They're trying to have a full jam session, record it,
Oh, this
and
is
then
some
post it.
hardcore stuff.
I know. Everyone wants to be a part of this one jam, and not 20 people jam at the same time, at least a few, and then record it, and then we post it, and we get to see what Johnny and Tommy and Billy jam together on Saturday night, that kind of thing. But it's hard because it only focuses on one person at a time playing. It's not really
I wonder if someone's figured that out. Like maybe there's an app or something for that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like remote band
Yeah.
in a way, right? Like, there's remote work. This sounds like a remote band. I would look around, see what there is.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. And thank you very much for changing my life and giving my wife was able to quit her job, and she works with me now here on Skool, doing everything. And
That's awesome.
my kids are getting everything that they want just because of this. I just want to thank you guys in person. Thank you.
Let's give them a little clap.
Yeah. I think there's also this really interesting meta point, which I'll give Sam a shout out for. But I don't know if you guys noticed, but like Sam did not hesitate to be like, yeah, you should try Zoom, a different product than Skool, to help solve a customer's problems. And I don't even think you noticed that you do it, but Sam's such a purist about just serving the customer and just making sure that they get value no matter what they're doing, even if it's not on Skool. He'll also say, like, even earlier, I don't know if you noticed it when we were talking about search, it's like, yeah, it really sucks. It's like, it's astonishing how bad it is. He's like, but we're working on it, And I think what that really gets to is, like, I think everybody wants trust from their audience. And I define trust as making yourself punishable. So, like, if you give someone a secret, you make yourself punishable. Like, you trust them. If you give a customer a way that they can basically leave you or do a transaction somewhere else, like, you make yourself punishable. You trust them, right? And so I think trust is something that is typically initiated by one person, then reciprocated. And so if you want more trust with your audiences, then do trustworthy things. And so anyways, I was just giving, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I think that is why the platform is so good, is that Sam is very honest about, because I think a lot of people live in their, entrepreneurs, us in general, we'll live in our own worlds of like, dude, I have the best stuff and we're better than everyone. And it's just like, dude, you're making, $1,000 a month in a niche that does $1 billion a year. Like, maybe you're not the best. Like, the algorithm sucks. It's like, no, the algorithm's actually pretty good. Like, Meta is pretty good at knowing what people like, and they don't like your stuff. And so maybe it's a niche, but maybe it's not good. And so I think it's very good, and I'm just kind of half giving Sam kudos, but I think the meta lesson is just, and Sam's obviously been a very successful entrepreneur. It's worth noting.
So I have a question. It's like a baby ad question, I suppose. Just getting started. I've reached the point of not done any YouTube for 10 years. I've kind of relied on an old following. I've converted everything I can think of. So I'm committing to doing ads next month. I'm putting a budget together, and I'd like to have an idea of pretty much everything that'll come in from that will be profit. So what can I...
We still talking about ads?
Yeah. I mean, at the back end, the servicing and in the boot camps, everything's sorted. So I'm happy that anything that does come in from it can be reinvested. Is there like a scalability? Let's say I put $2,000 in ads. I should add another $500 a month, or I should put 100%, or is there any like scale rule of thumb for that?
I mean, you want to take it for a shot? I have plenty to say.
You got to put in some and see if it comes back. And if it does, keep going. But I bet you it won't. It's really hard to make it come back, by the way. Like, like very hard.
I've got the pot to burn. I'm happy to go with it, but I want to grow
It'll burn it
now.
if you Most of the time it just gets burned. Like, it's hard. and I don't think you'll appreciate how hard it is until you try it. Yeah. But it's crackable. That's the good thing. Like, you can crack it. And if you do that, it'll crush, right? But I think it's always harder than people think, unless you're in a very interesting niche. That can happen where you just launch it and it's like accidentally super successful. That can happen too, but I think for the most part, it's probably quite hard. Would you guys agree with that?
Let me give you a meta framework for this that might be helpful. Where I see people who have warm audiences struggle when they go cold is because they assume the exact same conversion process for warm will work on cold. And typically it doesn't. And so you need to have a cold process, which means you usually have, you need to approximate an organic relationship, but you do it in a short time period. So if you think about, your organic content as just like slightly warming the water over time, think about your cold traffic conversion process as a microwave. You need to put the water in and then put 30 seconds in, which is 30 days, and make sure that it gets hot enough that someone's going to want to buy. And so you have to be more specific about what do they need, what are the exact pain points, what are the exact problems, and you have to be very economical with the communication, because the biggest cost of communicating to a lead is their attention. Like, the attention is the most decaying component of a lead, right? That's why a lead at 60 seconds versus 5 minutes versus 5 days, a lead at 5 seconds is worth 100 times more than a lead at 5 days. Not even close. And so you want to make sure that the process works on strangers. And if it works on strangers, my recommendation is that's what you run your warm through. Because a cold process will always convert warm, but a warm process will not convert cold.
Makes sense.
Sorry, Sam, just a question connected to the ads. For us, ads definitely work. We are spending over 100K a month, and it's doing really well.
How long does it take you to get back that 100 grand?
For the longest time ever, we had 1 ROAS on month 1, which was crazy. Now it dropped to about 0.9, but still we are insanely profitable.
So you're like profitable month 1, month 2?
Yes.
Yeah, that's sick. That's when things are good. Yeah.
And my question is why we are not doing more of this? Why we are not doing Reddit, TikTok, so many different integrations.
Well, why don't you just spend 200 grand?
Yeah, of course.
That's the easiest way.
I mean, on 200 grand, we went to 150, then we started dropping, so we decided, it's not making sense to spend more. But if we have like TikTok and Reddit and all of these different integrations, we can probably push it to like 300, 400K a month.
I will say that when you do multi-channel, it like each one says they got it. You know what I mean? So like Reddit might say, oh, we got your conversions. So will like YouTube, but also so will Meta. And when you look at the dashboards in each platform, you'll think, oh, we're crushing. But overall, it's like they're all kind of counting the same things. That's the main problem with multi-channel. The beauty of single is that that's just it. Like, in terms of attribution, you know what I mean? But yeah, it can get, I would say that the first thing to try would always be spending more versus trying a whole nother platform, because that's a whole nother universe, right? But I might not have the best answer to this because of my philosophy with this, which is to only use one channel. So like, you probably know about using more than one, yeah.
So, a couple things. So, you will make more money solving the problem of why you can't scale past 100K per month on your channel than by, like, you will have a short pop by adding a channel or two, but then you will run into the same core issue. And so fundamentally, you have to decrease CAC or you have to increase LTV. It's going to be one of those things. So on the increasing CAC front, it means that we need to make way more organic content so that you can have a much larger brand. And functionally, what's happening is at $100,000 of spend per month, you're reaching first layer, all the people who follow your stuff organically. Second layer, people who are just very intensely interested in the thing that you do. As soon as you get a little bit less interested and don't know who you are, it's falling off a cliff, I'm assuming, right? And so the only way to really expand it is make the circle of people who know who you are bigger, which until the last 5 years you really couldn't do unless you had a top. Like, if you were at an e-commerce one of these 5 years ago, the ad strategies were so different than they are today, because what they would do is basically they'd build organic by just doing top of funnel awareness ads. basically running content as ads, and then people who consumed a certain percentage, that became the audience that they actually did their direct response advertising to. We just have the benefit of today, we can just do that kind of distribution for free with lots of volume. And so in terms of like your long-term strategy, you have to build the brand up. I'm just saying that's what's gonna happen. Like you can get a double or a triple now, which hey, don't get me wrong, like that's material, but you're not gonna get a 10x plus unless you either dramatically reduce CAC by increasing the size of the brand, number one. Number two is the quantity and quality of creative has to go into more puddles. So it's like, can I expand past the people who know who I am into the people who are interested in the stuff? Yes, but those interests are gonna be narrower. And so you have to make way more pieces of creative to color all of the kind of the dots of the next ring. And it's the second thing, to reduce CAC. The third thing is gonna be looking at the actual business model, because if you made $1 million a customer, then you'd be like, oh, I'm fine going up, right? I'm just using it as a hypothetical to illustrate
What's your
the point.
community?
AI video bootcamp.
Oh, yeah, okay. I got a
Right.
good answer for you. We're going to talk at the break.
Sounds good.
I've seen your community everywhere.
Yeah,
It's
have,
always trending, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, you know this new thing I'm talking about, this trending algorithm?
we
You guys are in the top 5 all the damn time.
Yeah, we have
They must be doing something
insane
cool.
engagement, and also we won the Skool games platform wide, so we are super proud of that. And we are the only team that only has.
I've got like a pretty cool idea for you.
We have only front end products, so nothing else. $9.
No, yeah. What you're doing is super interesting.
Thank
and
you.
I've got something, I just can't share it on this recording in front of everyone.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hi, sorry. So I think I set up a trap for myself with my YouTube channel, which is where I started, because I built an audience that I told them for like 4 or 5 years, you know, like, oh, you can learn a language on your own without paying anything. And then I'm like here, like, hey, by the way, pay me, right? So so basically, I lost some. It's funny because the first time I said like, oh, I have a community and everything, people were like, oh, finally you're monetizing, you deserve it, blah, blah, blah. But then like, fast forward like 1 year later, and I'm getting like less engagement on the YouTube channel, less people watching. My Instagram is not growing as much either. So pretty much I kind of created, you know, this problem for myself. I don't know exactly like what to do. I mean, I did find.
Do you think the problem is that you monetized?
It shouldn't be. I don't think. I don't.
Is
I
it
don't.
that or the attention and energy? Yeah.
So I think like, you know, like usually I'm aiming for people in Mexico and South America, and people for my experience, I see my friends, my family, and everyone. Usually we want things for free all the time. You know.
That's everywhere.
True, I guess. But I see that, you know, like, because I've had taught Spanish abroad as well, and people are more willing to pay for those lessons than people are willing to pay for English lessons in Mexico, for instance, right? So I actually wanted to ask you, like, what would you do if you were, like, in that problem? Because I think I had that problem created for myself, as I said, because I was telling people.
I just don't think that was, I think what Sam and I are both saying, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I think we agree on this. It's not the fact that you charged that made the thing go down. It was the fact that your attention got split and like your mojo went over here instead of growing your brand and community.
Right.
And you just don't have enough mojo to go around. And so we have to look at what you're spending all your time on the monetization side, see what amount you can kind of either delegate or automate, and then probably redirect some of that creative juice into the attraction side. Because the algorithm has no idea. Like your Instagram's down, has people who don't know you have no idea that you monetize, nor do they care. They just care about the content. And so you just need to make better content that might be more relevant now than before.
Yeah, I think it's more about the YouTube channel, you know? It's funny because you mentioned like the less views or whatever, it doesn't matter, but I see it as a trending, you know.
If all your videos get less views, that's something to be concerned about.
Yeah.
I know the videos that I make that are like, if I make a video that's like, you know, 6 steps to 100K, because I do have a heart for people who are getting started, and so I still make that stuff, even though I know it's not really going to it's not really going to benefit me in any short-term horizon, like 1 year, 2 years, it's really not going to benefit me. I do it just because I I see the fucking hundreds of DMs I get every day, and I'm like, all right, I'll try and make something to help out. And I usually say in the meeting, like, all my advanced business owners, just fucking don't click, like, don't watch this, right? Like, but if you're trying to get started, like, watch this video. If I crack a video like that, I know it's gonna hit 1 million views. And so as long as you know, like, if I'm making, like, if none of your stuff's working, you need to revisit your content strategy, is kind of my point here.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that happened to me. Maybe this works for other people. Like I was paying too much attention to people who were commenting, which is funny, right? Because people were like, "Oh, we saw this already at 10,000 times. It's boring to see it again." Then okay, let me make something new, and it didn't work. And then I went back to like which is like how to learn English in like 4 months or something, right? And it got like thousands of views. I go and do something different, and it doesn't, right? So people just want to watch the same thing over and over. I don't know, it's weird. So
I mean, people watch reruns.
Yeah, me too, right?
And the thing is that like you think about like what is I'm sure some of you guys have seen shows that are like episodic shows, like CSI. It's like they introduce the victim and then they resolve it by the end. Every episode is just like very formulaic. So you'll have like I think most creators need to find. I mean, the very beginning nothing works, and then you find one thing that works. And as soon as you do that, like you want to double down on whatever that format is, and then create as much variety within the context of that format. And then long term, it's like you need to be able to crack another format, another format, another format. And this matters more for shorts than it does for longs. Longs have significantly more kind of breathing room than shorts do in terms of format ideation and alteration. And I say all of that within the larger context that I talked to Jack about earlier, which is like still make sure it's shit you like. And so I think it's a balance between both of those extremes. But if I were to guess, I would guess that you had a winning format, and then you stopped doing that winning format, or that winning format stopped being a winning format. So like some of you guys might have noticed, I don't do as many tweet reels on Instagram now as I used to. And it's because I ran tweet reels super hard for like a year and a half or 2 years because they were just murdered, and then they stopped murdering. And it's not like I changed the way I tweet. Like I know for about a 2-year sprint, I knew what the performance on X would be and how that would translate to IG almost 1 for 1. And now similar performance on X does not translate to that performance on Instagram. And so you find a winning format, you run it as hard as you can, and then when like the market tells you or the algorithm tells you that it's no longer interesting, you switch. And like that creating the new format process is probably the most dangerous part of kind of the creator journey, is you kind of have to like let go of one branch to go on to the next one. And that's just, again, as soon as one hits, it's like, great, this is what we're gonna do until it stops working. And that's because attention changes, and that's just the nature of marketing.
Yeah, I think I let you go too fast. Listening to people like or reading comments.
Keep going until it stops working.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey. First off, thank you. This is amazing. You guys rock. I have been playing the 10x game on YouTube for 3 years. So find high value packages, hit them in my niche, and we're Facebook ads, like that's what we do. And I've had that same thought, Alex, that you were just mentioning, which is the videos that I do because I think they actually rock, they do drive more sales for both our agency and for Skool as well. We see it very clearly. But the whole 10x game has worked for a while. And very openly, I'm scared to pull away from that game.
You don't need to stop all at once.
Just slow it down.
Yeah, you don't have to change anything if you don't want to change it. If you're like, I hate this, then that becomes a long-term threat to the business, right?
Well, of course, I think it's so much more fun to just make the stuff that is intellectually challenging and like new, fun, like things that people aren't talking about. Because we've literally just played like that. Let's take this package and let's just try to make it better than everyone else in the industry and try to give more sauce as much as we can, which has been great. But yeah, it's.
What's the problem?
roadblock.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that maybe there's fear behind it, and I don't know. Maybe this is like a macro thing too.
Do you have to change? Like you don't have to change.
Well,
if it's working. If whatever you're doing is working, please continue doing that. If what you're doing is not working, consider changing. Sorry. Please continue.
I think it's working. It is working. Like by numbers, it's working. But when we see that similar scenario, when we have like top 10 videos and 2 of them are driving the most amount of sales, there's my like indication to maybe this isn't actually the best path. And when you look at my industry specifically, I look at guys like Evolve, like Spencer in here, right? And you look at him and his like team getting like a couple thousand views, but they're doing ridiculous MRR on Skool right now, right? So their value exchange is amazing. I mean, he makes incredible content.
Yeah. He makes content for people who have money, and there's way fewer of them.
True.
And so just have to accept that, like, if I make valuable, like, if you really want to get like weird with it, look at the VC podcasts, right? Like there's a podcast that I was on that has, I think, 10 trillion in aggregate, like assets under management has flowed through that podcast. So GPs, so general partners of funds, go on this podcast. The podcast gets like 7,000 downloads a month. But I have I would say an acquaintance that went on there on the podcast and then raised the fund and raised $100 million like the next week.
Have you seen Stripe's podcast too?
The drinking one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen clips.
I mean, they have like the founder of like Google on there and shit, and like it's got 6,000 views.
Yeah. No, for like this
and
is
it's Stripe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all that to say, I think what you observed with Spencer is that he's creating content that is going to cater to his ideal avatar, and that translates into more sales. And so if you're afraid, my big thing is don't stop flows, add more flows. And if you add another flow that's superior, then you can consider dropping one that's lower return. And so you can keep your base of content. You will not make less money by continuing that, but then saying, I'm also going to add in these pieces that are like pieces for me, that, or rather for my avatar, that I think they're gonna really, jive with, and just add it on top. And so how many YouTube pieces do you make a week right now? Like longs?
We make 2 longs and then 5 shorts.
Okay. So it would be like, okay, can we take one of those longs and transform it, or add a third? You'll usually need less editing for the higher value stuff. I'll bring that up. Like the stuff that we have to super heavily edit the fuck out of is typically the more junior top of funnel stuff. The more advanced players, I think, just in general, have slightly longer attention spans and recognize when value is about to get to
I hate edits.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
just
one
saying.
continuous stream. Yeah.
Rogan, right? I mean, so yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
So it shouldn't be as much work. That's kind of my point. The highlight channel for us is one guy doing 20 a day.
Yeah.
A day. 200 and whatever, 140 a week.
Do you find any sort of, like we're when I'm thinking about the short side as well, views have a direct correlation to how many leads we get on Instagram. Do you think about that from just a value, give as much value per second perspective, or do you play a little bit more of the game on that?
I still
end?
do, because if you look at the quality of the leads,
Sure.
like your MQLs will look at MQL signal rather than total lead signal.
Yeah, I don't think I have high enough volume to like really parse it out yet on Instagram side.
Well, on Instagram, are you just sending them a link, or is there some sort of DM chatter or something like that?
DM flow.
Yeah. So is it like a many chat thing?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm guessing at some level you ask some qualifying questions, right?
Yes we do.
Right. So just look
we
at
just
the
give.
Yeah, that's fine. But like at some point, wait, do you just hold on? Are you basically treating it like an email where you just like send them valuable stuff on a consistent basis?
We ask like 2 to 3 questions. When they don't reply, then we just go, here's everything, and we just give them a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
Those links that we give them the second time around, they need to opt in. So normally we would just give you like, we call it like the M4 guide.
Yeah.
Here's our guide, right? And it's just Google Doc, 22 pages, rip it. If you don't reply, you get a different flow where you actually have to opt in via email to get that document. So if you like go back like 2 weeks later, never want to interact with us.
I'm a big advocate of adding more friction to opt-in forms. I mean, if you look at my site, to opt in anywhere, it's usually like 5 or more fields. And it's just because, again, this is Alex's 2 cents in the world. Do whatever you want. I would like to know more about the prospects that are coming in. Obviously, we get a lot, and so there's no value in me expending resources on somebody that like has literally they cannot buy anything from me, right? And so I also think it will create a much stronger feedback loop for you to just have some signal on the front end. So maybe it's just ask for revenue, at the most basic level. Like, do you have a business, right? Like
we ask for spend.
Sorry?
We ask for ad spend.
So even from that alone, you should still be able to create kind of a signal that you can go off of like, okay, this short created more opt-ins, but this short created more people over 30K a month in spend. I'm just making it up.
I know. I just got I got it. I got the yeah. We have to have individual lead magnets per short.
Just make that the signal that
So
you
we can
optimize
track
your
it,
stuff
yeah.
off of, and don't make the signal total leads, because total leads is shit.
Rock on. Thank you.
I have a question, translator.
I'll translate for
Yeah.
Quisiera saber cómo todas esas estrategias que él nos está enseñando las puedo aplicar en Latinoamérica, en donde las personas tienen un comportamiento diferente de compra.
I would like to know if there is a specific way that I can apply all these strategies that you guys are teaching in Latin American, because people have a different behavior of buying.
La mayoría de personas no tienen como esa mentalidad de comprar, entonces entre más filtros le ponga, pues me va a quedar sin menos audiencia o leads calificados.
Most people don't have that natural ability to buy in Latin America, so is it okay for me to put more filter for them to buy?
Why? What's the problem with them buying?
¿Cuál es el problema con ellos que no compran tanto en Latinoamérica?
Son varios. Uno, la relación que tienen con el dinero. Dos, como decía el compañero, todo como que lo quieren gratis.
In Latin America, people have a different relationship with money. They want a lot of things for free. They don't have as much
You know what's
capital.
interesting is Latin America is the hottest.
It's the hottest market.
that we have on Skool.
Is the hardest?
Hottest.
Latinoamérica es el mercado más caliente que hay ahorita en Skool.
Como qué consejos me podrían dar ellos para generar mayores conversiones.
What advice can you give me to generate more conversion, more sales?
Have you sold in the US?
¿Has vendido aquí en Estados Unidos?
Sí, pero personas de habla hispana.
I sell in the United States, but people speak Spanish.
And you think those people buy more than people
¿Y
in
crees que esa
Latin
gente
America?
compra más allá, compra más aquí de lo que compran allá?
Creo que me buscan más a mí por el precio, por tener menor precio.
People here look for me in Colombia because I'm more economic, cheaper over there.
I'll tell you where I was going to go, my line of questioning was going to lead to, is that the strategies are 100% the same.
Las estrategias son 100% la misma.
And I swear, if we just put Skool in Spanish and allowed people in Latin America to buy, it would probably help a lot.
But the relationship with free versus paid, it's the same. I mean, think about how much free stuff that I put out. I put a lot of free stuff out. It's not different. It's just that we need to have some percentage of people we just know some percentage of people are going to be able to afford our products. The only thing that, in my opinion, truly changes between different markets is just price. The remainder of the strategies, human behavior is more or less the same. For sure, there's some cultural components about how you do the selling in terms of like messaging and how aggressive things like some of that can be smaller, different. But big strategy of free stuff is everywhere. Making sure your stuff is valuable is everywhere. And then knowing that you're going to convert a very small percentage of the audience that you give free stuff to paid is everywhere.
Y ese porcentaje pequeño de la gente que quieren algo gratis para después comprarte algo.
This is awesome. Well, it's awesome because I know that we need to do Skool in Spanish. Spanish is the most popular one, though, by quite a bit.
Huge.
Followed by German, followed by French.
That's surprising.
Then Chinese. Yeah. Those are the main ones, yeah. And we really want to do it ASAP. I'm honestly shocked at how many people use Skool that in foreign languages. Because only in US dollars and it's only in English. Why the hell are you using Skool? It's like the biggest disadvantage ever, but it's like you guys are still crushing. Yeah. Imagine if we put it in Spanish. So we're going to do that, but it'll be one thing at a time. I think the languages will come first, then like probably currencies and payment methods, like additional ways to pay, like PayPal, Pix, all kinds of things. WeChat Pay, I think that's what people
Carrier
use.
pigeons.
All of that's coming. It'll make it easier for people in other countries, I think. Yeah. Does anyone here even care about currencies? Do you like dollars? Okay, all right. Yeah, we can have some good conversations today. This one's complicated as hell. I've got some ideas of how to do it. I want to run them by. So if some of you guys want currencies, come talk to me today about it, because I want to run a few different ways I could do it by you and see which one you like the most. Yeah.
The currency thing is funny because I'm from Bulgaria. We just changed our main currency from lev, which is Bulgarian lev, to euro. Yeah. And I won the Skool games when every person that I needed to get to become a client, I needed to share 3 different currencies for them to know how much they are going to pay for the community. So my question is, I have 2 questions. First, the languages, are you going to do more niche languages like Bulgarian or more main ones like Spanish?
We'll start with Spanish, German, French, Chinese. If you want to translate Bulgaria,
I would love to.
Yeah.
If
so
I can
like, then
help.
we'll just let some people do the translations for the other ones, and hope that you don't fuck it up.
I would love to help with a professional translator to translate it in Bulgarian.
Yeah. I think the people that use the platform all the time are in the best position to like make sure it's good. But yeah, like we plan to cover all of them, but we'll start with just the major ones and then probably make it so that you guys can. I mean, there'll be some vetting with who we let translate, right? But like, yeah, we'll just give it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, this is something that's stopping a lot of people, especially in Bulgaria, who don't speak English to join the platform. And a lot of trust is lost just because the platform is not in
soon
Bulgarian.
enough, no matter where someone is in the world, when they go to an About page, it'll be in their currency and in their language.
Yeah.
Without you doing anything. So it'll just adapt, you know? Yeah.
That's cool. The second question is about sales. Right now I have 25% sales percentage, and I want to make it more better. And I don't know where to focus on to improve my close when I close, or to improve the sales motion, like before, what happens before the sale, during the sale, or after. So, yeah.
Well, I don't think what you do after the sale will improve the sale. So I would start with before. Are you having people watch a VSL before they get on the call?
No.
No?
No, that's the thing. If I am thinking to integrate
do
the
that
VSL.
first. Like honestly, if you just did that, it'll probably push you to 35.
So before they book a Calendly link, or
so once they book the Calendly link, send them the video.
Okay.
And then when they start the call, say, hey, did you watch the video? If they say no worries, go watch this. I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee.
Okay.
I'll come back. It'll just save us both a lot of time.
Okay. What should be in the VSL? This specific VSL, yeah.
All right, I'm going to say this really fast, and you can just watch the recording. So you're going to have an intro portion. You're going to have promise. So the point of this video is I'm going to help you do X, Y, Z. And this is for people who are suffering from ZYW. So pain, promise, pain. The way I do that is X, Y, Z, or whatever letter I'm on. The proof that you know that I can actually do it. I did help with this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and this guy. And so this is the kind of picture roadmap of what we're going to do for the rest of our time. And so the next portion is, here's my unique way of doing it that other people don't do. And then after you explain your kind of methodology for how you do whatever you do, then it's like, hey, now when I explain that, people typically have some concerns about it. And so then you just go objection number 1, objection number 2, objection number 3, objection number 4, and keep going. For each of the objections, you're going to say what they think, why it's wrong, what's right, and then provide proof. And you repeat that process over and over again. And then once you've basically exhausted all of the objections that someone's going to have, you say, great, you give a CTA, which is like, hey, text me this number or your favorite coffee shop or whatever, text anything, small, medium, large, I don't really care, just to show that you know that they watched the video. So you'll get that text. It also engages them back. And then it's like, hey, the rest of this video is just proof of other people who are like you, who went through our thing. And then the rest of it is just literally testimonials all the way through.
And how long would that be?
7 to 10.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
So in the past, you talked about how even for basic stuff, people go to the experts. The example you gave was, if you want to learn Ollie, you go to Tony Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Even though anybody can teach the basic skills on the skateboard. But Tony Hawk wouldn't want to teach Ollies all his life. Mm-hmm. So his time may be better spent also
teaching people who have like 15 years, 20 years of experience. But there are way fewer people, so it's more niche down. So maybe he would charge higher. But the skill on skateboard or expertise on skateboard doesn't always translate to purchasing power. So how would he reconcile these two?
I think that we're solving two different problems. One is a personal problem, the other is a business problem. So if he teaches everyone to sell on Ali, he already solves his business problem. If he has a personal issue of like, I want to do other shit, then I think you can still absolutely go. Not many people are trying to do like a $100 million launch. That's probably not like on some of people's bingo card for this year, right? But if I demonstrate that, then I can probably help you launch your Skool community to 1,000 people, right? And so he does the 900 so that people believe that he can do the Ollie, but I don't think he needs to solve that personal need within his business.
It just cracks me up how we're theorizing about Tony Hawk and skating. Like, do you have a skating community?
No.
Okay. Like, why do you want to know this? This is so like abstract.
Yeah, you do. He
Skate
teaches
theory.
engineers to be musicians.
So what? Why do you care? I'm curious.
Well, because my dilemma is like, I have the community where it's this like the standard tier and the premium tier. I'm experimenting with having premium tier have more expert knowledge, more like advanced level knowledge. And I'm like, is that the right approach to have advanced level, like on a higher tier, advanced information, or have advanced level of service?
It's going to be service.
Yeah, okay.
9 times out of 10, it'll sell more.
Got it, yeah, very clear. Thank you.
It's the rich guy who wants to do an Ollie and just have support.
I got a question. So I had different questions, but Sam, you asked one, and like the answers you got from that like helped me a lot too. My question is, what are things you guys have seen like in the first 30 days to really bolster that onboarding experience? We grew extremely fast. Then we started adding more stuff in based on requests. Now it's like, okay, we're going to remove that stuff, but also how do we get people to have a great onboarding experience to stay longer?
I don't. There's so many different ways to do it, right? And I think it's hard to say like this way is better than that way because the numbers will tell you if you're doing something good or not. So like, what's your churn like?
We went from 5 to 7% in the first like 3 months. The last 2 months is like 15, 17%. It jumped up quite a bit.
That's when you added all the stuff?
When we added all the stuff.
Yeah,
Just
so
remove that.
yeah, that.
Okay.
Unadd.
Okay, and on that.
Overwhelm is the most common reason for churn.
Okay.
They don't think they're using the product.
Okay, and on top of that question then, how do I gracefully remove a lot of this stuff that we added in there without...
Sam has a great way of doing this.
You just turn it to draft.
Well, is it one of those things I'm in my head where it's like, I'm going to create a mutiny if I remove this stuff? And
Dude, I'm a big fan of just telling the truth.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of not even saying anything.
I'm saying to the people...
Just turn it
That's
off.
the Sam method.
No, because if you... what I've found is if you say, hey guys, we're removing this, everyone comes out of the woodwork and says, no, please don't remove it. And they weren't even fucking using it.
Yeah,
that's true. Okay,
I think I lose stuff.
Yeah, people want more.
Yeah.
They'll never tell you take something away. But if you just take it away quietly, sometimes they never notice.
Never
and
even
then you're
say
like,
anything.
perfect, right? Yeah. And occasionally you take something away and there's outrage and it's like, oh, I never knew that was so important. And you put it back. But at least now you know, right? The only way you can really learn most things is by subtraction. Addition tells you almost nothing a lot of the time. Unless it's in your case where you added and it got worse. Yeah. Now take it away, see if it comes back. And then you've got good churn again.
Okay, can I ask a follow-up question?
I'll give you a follow-up on Sam's, which is that, and if people do kind of revolt, number one, make sure it's the right type of customer that you actually want.
Okay.
And number two, the revolt, make sure that it's by percentage of audience. So like when you have large communities of 1,000 people, you might have like 50 people who say something. You're like, okay, well that's 5%. And then of that 5%, how many of them are going to cancel as a result of this versus basically stating a preference?
Gotcha.
You just reminded me what I do actually. So like, we also like put everything in a Google Doc, and then if someone complains, you go to DMs, do it privately, share them the link to the Google Doc. So they've still got all the content, but now you're not like just pushing it on everyone.
Easy peasy.
We've done this a million times because we had all the Skool games recordings. We've had a lot of content come through, and did you guys notice it just kind of disappears? But it's still there if someone really wants it. Because we don't want to just put a lot of content there because like 20 people want it out of 200,000. That's kind of crazy. Does that make sense?
No, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of those things like you're just in your head about it, like, oh shit, I don't want to make the wrong decision and burn this thing to the
Dude,
ground.
the cost to the ease of
Yeah.
undo here is like a click.
Okay.
So, you turn it to draft. You don't delete it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then when I delete it, I first copy the course key to a random community because I'm just like, if I want to delete it, I'm not satisfied with it sitting in draft. I get a lot of satisfaction with a full delete. But I first put it over into another random community.
That's what I have. Yeah.
Just as backup in a way, so I can quickly put it back if I ever need to. Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
This one really geared toward you, Alex. I don't have any like upsells on the back end. We're strictly doing like a $97 a month. Now we have a $297. Just fast tracks their access. We teach marketers how to build and sell AI to small businesses. In your mind, like, what is a next natural upsell? Like, this is my first time teaching marketers. I mean, we're really good at doing it with businesses, so it's a very new crowd for me. I'm like, what is that back end upsell? Because I know it'll double our business very quickly if we had something. People ask.
So I'll give you the easiest thing, which is just go for the annual prepayment.
Okay.
That would be like, because it's the easy button. You don't have to do anything. It's basically you add a sales motion, but that's basically it. Sales motion with maybe one benefit, and then people move in, which would be like, that's what, because that requires nothing new, which big fan.
Yeah.
If I were to add something, it would probably be something like this.
Like in-person event?
Yeah, you do like some sort of unscalable thing that's in person. So fundamentally in a lot of communities, people are paying for access.
Well, that's good. We have a whole studio just like this in Austin. How often or frequent would you do that?
It's going to depend on price point. If you're at 4K a year, it'd be like once.
I mean, we're like 80,000 a month right now.
I mean, I'm saying if you're at $400 a month times 12, it's 4,800. So you probably have your annual at 4K.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. So if it's 4K annual, then it's like maybe it'd be one thing, if that. But I'm saying if you had the upsell, the thing that would be like call it 10,000 a year or 25,000 a year or whatever.
Okay.
That would be, if it's at 25, you probably can do 2 or 3. I will say that I've seen successful like event stuff where it's usually between 2 and 3.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
I have a question. So I'm having a hard time reconciling when it comes to content creation. How do I balance the idea that you deliver the information but sell the implementation, but then also the don't tell me, show me? Do you know what I mean? So like if I'm giving people the information, but at the same time the best way to get them to come into my community is to demonstrate. How do I reconcile those two? Because I feel like I could create lots of, I feel like my content, like there's only so many techniques, and I just feel like at some point it becomes repetitive. And then
it's totally going to be repetitive.
Yeah. Okay.
Dave Ramsey has been 45 years telling people to spend less than they make. I want to reframe variety for you.
Okay.
No one's seen you do your elbow pop crack with an 85-year-old woman. And then they're going to want to see an 85-year-old woman who plays tennis, and then an 85-year-old woman who plays, soccer or whatever. Well, probably not soccer, but right. And then a young guy and a black guy and a white girl and you're going to get he still says spend less than you make, but it's like, but I just got divorced. And then another one's like, I got divorced and I have 2 kids. Another one's like, I got divorced and I have 2 kids and I have a job. The beauty of demonstration is that every single situation is unique, which makes unique content, even if the strategy is the same.
Okay.
And most people are still buying because in a lot of ways we know to hold ourselves accountable that if we buy something, we're going to take it seriously. And so it's like you just allow someone the mechanism to do that.
Got it. Okay. Thanks.
Like you can show one of my, if you've seen Neil Patel, he does SEO stuff. His channel is so it's just work, right? He just shows you how to do this strategy and this strategy and this strategy. He's been doing SEO for fucking ever, right? And you watch 10 videos and you're like, I get it. I don't want to do that. And then you just buy. It gives away the information, sell the implementation. I'll say one other thing though that'll probably relate to everybody here. In your conversion processes like the VSL, we want to talk about stuff, not how to do stuff. So there's a difference between procedural education and declarative knowledge. So if I tell you how private equity works, it's about, this is something I didn't know was possible. They're telling me about it. Here's how you draft the letter as a private equity firm. Here's how you negotiate this clause and this clause and this clause. You can include that in content, but from a selling perspective, the conversion process should be about stuff, not how to do stuff. And this is where a lot of VSLs get messed up. Kind of what I said earlier, let me tell you my special sauce. you're not actually explaining the science. You want to probably create an analogy, kind of like you said earlier, like, you're stiff because your body needs stability, and so your joint is unstable, and so and then you're like, everybody's been getting this wrong, and if you've tried other things in the past, then obviously that wasn't the right solution, so why don't you give this a try? Right? Like, it's very simple, like, you just have to explain the theory behind it, about how it works, and then it's proof that it works, proof that it works, proof that it works, proof that it works, and then that's what gets people to want to take action.
Okay.
Hey guys, I've got a question on scalability from being one-on-one and going to a bigger aspect.
I don't know if you've seen this. So he started his business he just used Skool as a payment processor for jiu-jitsu lessons. And then he had all these customers. He was like, fuck, I'll just put them inside. I need to figure out the community part.
That exactly what happened. So I was doing one-on-one coaching for jiu-jitsu online. And at some point I was making my own Shopify website and I hated it. And I was like, oh, this platform Skool, this looks so easy. So I'm just going to use that. And then at some point I was like, oh, this actually has way more than one-on-one coaching. I'm going to try and like add in some other stuff. And now I'm at the point where I have way too many one-on-one clients. And that's all I've promised. Like, oh yeah, one-on-one coaching. I review their footage. I spend all this time, like a couple hours every single day reviewing footage. And now I'm at the point I'm like, all right, there's all these guys here who are like, hanging around making way more money than me. I'm spending a couple hours every single day reviewing footage. How do I bridge from being a one-on-one coach, doing one-on-one coaching, to something that frees up a lot of time, getting more people? And initially I didn't understand how much attraction I would get to one-on-one coaching. I had like 100 spots and I filled it in a month. I had to stop putting out CTAs.
What's the price?
It was 100. So now I'm
month?
Like, 100 a month. So yeah, I mean, I know. I sort of cooked myself.
For how much? Like,
sorry?
For how much time?
Well, my thing is like they upload their competition or rolling footage and then I'll review it. So I go into Loom and I watch the footage and I go over and review it. And then at some point I was like, oh, this is actually a bit too much footage to review.
How much do some people use the shit
Some people use the hell of it, out of it. And I'm like, listen, bro, like you sent me like 10 videos. I want to review 2 of these videos, which will take me 20 minutes. And then once you've watched that, let me know if you want me to review the rest. And usually they don't ask me to because that 20 minutes is so valuable. But yeah, really my question is like scaling from that point because I had to close it off. Going from that one-on-one aspect where everyone gets one-on-one contact and one-on-one help to be creating more of a community vibe and something that frees up my time and is still less valuable.
One-on-one, like, because usually one-on-one's like you get a 30-minute call or a 1-hour call. It's a little different, but it's a service.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is one-on-one in the aspect that I review their footage and it's one-on-one in terms of I send the Loom video, which will be about 20 minutes. But yeah, not like one-on-one
There's
calls.
lots of things you could do, but one thing that just came to mind, and I put 4 seconds of thought into this, so like, you could probably put a bit more in, was you could just make 2 tiers, have one that's like, I don't know, a bit cheaper, I don't know, I'm making this up, like $50, and then maybe make the one with the services more expensive, like $200 or something, and then put everyone that paid 100, grandfather them into the 200 for 100. Do you know what I mean? But now when people come in, they can choose. So so not everyone you have to do services for, but the people you do it for, at least they're paying you more. I don't know. That's one idea. Like, I know that this is actually quite common with the sports ones, because the 3 people I've heard that do this is like a ski coach, a skater, a professional skater, a professional skier, and you're doing it with jiu-jitsu. So it makes a lot of sense. They have tiers, and on one tier they get video reviews where they'll like review your ski method or you doing tricks on a skateboard, and the other tier you don't get any of that. And these 2 communities, if you want to check them out, one's called like, is it Harbs? Is it, Kirby, you know it, Harb, the ski group? Harb Ski Academy, that's one of them. The other one's called Skate IQ. And so like if you check out these kinds of communities on Skool, you'll probably see they have quite a lot in common with you. And I don't know how much MRR you're making either, but like
$10,000 a month, right? 100 people at 100.
Yeah, around there.
Okay, yeah. So some of these people are making more and probably doing less. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'd love to do less and make more. I mean,
yeah, so like there's some great examples out there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. The first thing I tried to do was, and then as he said before, like it didn't really work, is I added more videos to the classroom section. And then I'm checking the views in the videos, it's like 2 views. I'm like, oh, no one's actually using this. How do they still, like, I guess it's cheaper, but provide value without just being like, oh, here's more stuff? I guess it's just a cheaper price point.
Couple ways to skin the cat. I mean, whenever I hear that someone's doing one-on-one and then they cap, it means that you are supply constrained. And so if you have supply and demand goes up, then price goes up. That's kind of how that works. And so if you're like, I sold out in a month, then it's like if you took 3 months and you made it $500 a month, and you did the exact same thing, you'd make 50 grand a month. And at that point, you'd be like, well, now I'm still miserable, but I'm making 50 grand a month. So there's
way less miserable then.
Yeah, less miserable.
Yeah.
But you're going to, like, you can have what Sam said, which is basically split the tiers up, continue to raise this price, and then have the low tier, option 1. Option 2 is you could basically make it, that is the lower risk. I don't even want to do the other one. Raise your price, add a lower thing, leave it there.
All right, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Do you know about this frame by frame analysis thing you can do on Skool?
No, what is that?
Does anyone know how to do it even? I made the feature and I forgot how it works.
That's like the most Sam statement of the day.
It's a weird thing, like a niche thing. But these guys, the skate guys, the ski guys, and even a Rubik's Cube solver, right? They need micro, like, split frame analysis. And you can do it on Skool. I just don't know how, so...
Ask the Skate IQ guys.
Okay, I will.
It's the normal keyboard thing that you would press if you were trying to do it. I just don't know what that is because I've never done it, but...
YouTube's comma and point.
Comma...
And point.
Period.
So that's a good place to start, probably, yeah. But if you're breaking down things that move really fast, like Rubik's Cube or skiing or skating, and I'm guessing this would be useful for you too, yeah, you can do it, and it makes it really easy to... Because what these guys do is they record a video of them watching someone's video and going through the frames. Is that kind of what you do?
Yeah, it is similar.
Okay, yeah. So that feature will probably be very useful for you.
Yeah, I should try it out. I mean, it's not as fast as Rubik's Cubes, but it's still quick. Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
And also, so I teach Japanese in my community, and I've invested a lot in the community aspect of it. And I created the thing is the members think that the members themselves created clubs, right? Like the manga club, the anime club. They hang out together and they read in Japanese, they watch series in Japanese, and they answer questions and study with that. So the thing is that I have leaders for those clubs, the same members. And I would like them to be able to create classrooms. But I don't want to make them admins. I want them to be moderators, but if they are moderators, they can't create classrooms, and they are very limited. So I was wondering if there's a way to customize the permissions I can give to members, not just the set ones.
Yeah, I mean, we could just make it so moderators can add courses, but maybe not delete them, right? Would that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the problem is with them deleting them. Because, like, people don't want to give their mods too much power, but you can't do a lot of damage adding. So it's an easy change. I'll forget about it in 10 minutes, so you should tell me. Make sure I write it down. But that's an easy change for us to make, and I think it would. I don't see why we shouldn't do that.
And the last question. So there are categories, right, in the forum, in the community, and you can pin comments, right, like posts. But if I pin a post, it's pinned everywhere, like in the all section.
Yeah.
So people, by default, they use the all one. Like they don't go to the categories and then they only see the posts in a given category. They are always in the all side of it. And I would like to be able to pin comments by category. So if you go to all and I
You
have
mean posts?
Yeah, posts.
You see how what you just said doesn't make a ton of sense, right? Because we used to allow you to do this. But like, if no one goes to the categories, then what's the point,
So, for example, for the clubs, if somebody wants to only see the stuff for the club, like, they can go to the club thing and they can see the important stuff for the club. But if they go to all, they can see, like, for example, the latest news or whatever.
We had this before and it just confused the shit out of everyone. Like, we used to have the feature. It was like pin to category, but then people were like, they'd have no pin posts on all, but they would have pinned them in other places, and they forgot, and they're like, this is bullshit. I can't add a new pin post. It says I've already got 3, but yeah. Unless we can find a better way. Ask me about it later.
Okay.
I don't know, has anyone else ever even thought about wanting this? School's already too complicated, man. Like things like that get real complicated all of a sudden. Because you know how you used to be able to hide a pin post? That blew everyone's mind. Because they were like, I've hit my max pin post, and then everyone would be like, oh, it's because you hit it. They were like, what? Where? That was one of those features that we removed, and no one said anything. Nothing. I was like, holy shit, no one even knew that you could do that. And if they were hiding it, it was an accident. Because we were seeing the usage, we're like, people are using it. But, but those were the cause of all the problems. So like, we took it away, no one said anything, and all the support tickets and all the problems that just disappeared. It was honestly kind of amazing. And the pin to category one was exactly the same. You know, it was, when we heard about it, it was a problem because they didn't know what they did, if that makes sense. And then we took it away and it just got better. Yeah, I mean, it's a niche thing to want and it makes it more complicated. We've got to be careful with those things, you know.
Thank you.
I've got a question on conversion. I run a community... Frisbee, that's right. I've done sales calls in the past, done DM flows, done direct to about page. I feel like I've yet to find the one conversion mechanism to just go all in on and just drive traffic hard to that one thing. I know at ACQ you guys do calls for your workshops, some direct to about or CTAs, etc. Do you have any advice on when you know the right conversion mechanism is the right one?
Depends on the price.
$49 low ticket, $200.
Usually something like that is you'll push to the about page because you want it for something that's that price point. Usually you want to have an automated conversion or a ManyChat kind of flow, but either of those things are going to be automated. I think to get people to the 200, some people will self-select, but that's where if you had that's where I would put the call to just nudge people in the 200 if it's a good fit for them. And so it doubles as both an onboarding and a sales call. And so that way you can pretty much ROI it from a cost perspective because it'll either decrease churn on the low one or it'll increase ascensions. But both ways LTV goes up. It's a very light.
Your Instagram, right?
Yeah, Instagram and YouTube. Yep. Right now I've got pretty much that.
Instagram, the best thing we can see is like ManyChat,
Yep.
and then it just goes to the about page.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess aside on that, with lead magnets, I know for your lead magnet, Alex, you've got the core booking page underneath the
scaling roadmap.
The scaling roadmap. Do you recommend that? Well,
yes.
Obviously, yeah.
You would hope so, right?
Yeah. It's a terrible idea. Definitely don't do it.
Yeah, okay. Cool. All good.
Is lunch ready? Cool. We've got the whole day, by the way. This is just some fancy thing where I've got a stage and shit. Yeah. But like, there's a whole day to talk about this kind of stuff. So let's get some lunch.
Woo.